It's fast, it's intimidating, and it can eat up drivers' cars for breakfast. That can only mean one thing. No, we are not at Dover Motor Speedway. We are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in Hawaii for 17 laps of road course racing action. Welcome everybody to the 1UP Nitro National Series live coverage from the ButiBamba circuit. I'm Devin Fair alongside my cohort James Ellison here to bring you all the action. Well James, after the last race at Charlotte, things have shaken up quite a bit in the point standings, haven't they?
Oh, they absolutely have. Had a bit of an off day for former points leader DJ Curtis, and it's allowed someone else to take the position. But it's not too bad. He's still got time to rebound. But you know, it was a really interesting outcome for that race, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things go, going just left to left and right here in the middle of the Pacific.
DJ Curtis and Eric DeMax needing good days after what happened at Charlotte, and they look to be having them both drivers qualified within the top 10. So they both have a lot going for them here. One of those two could walk out of here with a really good finish today.
Oh, absolutely. It's I mean, with their starting positions, it's definitely looking good, and we see road courses can and have been a position-based circuit, but yet strategy plays a factor in some of them, depending on where we go. But it's really going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, of course, we know defending champion Eric DeMax has road course experience in his resume, so this is definitely in his ball field. So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. But there's a lot of other stories to talk about, like some new arrivals to the series, or even returning faces too.
That's right, and we'll get to all of those, but with that, we can show you how they line up for today's 17-lap feature race. Second pole of the season for David Meske in the 29 Ford for Finn Guy Saitomi. He'll be starting alongside previously mentioned Eric DeMax in the 16 car, and basically the entire lineup appeared to be about Finn Guy versus Venta, as we see AJ Zhao lining up in third alongside Ashton Blevins in the 77, who also had a rough outing at Charlotte, but things seem to be turning around here. Same thing for Yanis Terzic, who lined up 5th alongside DJ Curtis in the 22 in 6th. Brandon Smith 7th alongside the newcomer to the series, Fidel Iglesias, making his first career start in the Nitro National Series. He's been bad fast all weekend, and he lines up 8th today after a stellar qualifying effort. And then rounding out the top 10, Justin Whitmer and Noah Hart, two drivers with little experience, but they're up here now, and they'll be starting right ahead of Paul Villalobos and Riley Hooper. James, who are you watching out for this race?
Well, I'm definitely going to be watching DeMax here. Well, Zhao still has something to prove. He tried so hard at Charlotte. There were several others who had a hand. Terzic is looking to continue momentum. We saw how good he ran at Charlotte. And I've definitely got to say, that is a stunner of a start for Fidel Iglesias, because I'm going to be keeping an eye on that 81 car, because who knows what could happen there. And I got to say, there's a number of different drivers who could have a chance at, especially if strategy were to come into play with things. One person I wanted to talk about is a returning face that I previously alluded to. Welcome back to the Nitro National Series, Justin Henley. With the folding of Vice Valley Motorsports, that left Henley without a ride in Cup. We at Stormbreak gave him an opportunity to continue his season, so welcome back there. But also, I gotta say, Cody Lamas not having a good start to the race today with a 33rd place starting spot, but I have a feeling he could pull himself out of that real quick if he does it right.
Well, if practice is any indication, these guys are going to be all over the place here. So Cody Lamas, Justin Henley, all of these guys are going to have a lot of work to do if they want to get to the front. But with that should be all I want to talk about here. We're now going to go trackside to see how these drivers fare here at ButiBamba. New faces, new type of track. Should be a lot of fun. Stay with us. The coverage of the Nitro National Series coming up right now. The long straights and twisting turns of ButiBamba await. David Meske, Eric DeMax, going to bring this 40-car field down for the green flag here in the 1UP Nitro National Series from ButiBamba circuit here in Hawaii. They're coming up to the start line right about now, and we are underway from Hawaii.
And this was a real good launch for Mesky. Demaxton is no slouch, though, although he's currently stuck fighting his teammate. But I expect these two will do really good here, trying to get up here and do something about this 29.
Through the sweeping turn 1 to go. Demax starting to have a run on Mesky on the high side here. Right behind them, AJ Zhao, Ashton Blevins looking for some room. Dice Turzic. DJ Curtis actually clears Dice Turzic, so Turzic fall back to sit. But here they come, through turn 2 to the first S-curve. This has been a trouble spot for drivers in the past. We'll see if anything happens here. Out wide, DJ Mesky, AJ Zhao looking to get a little bit wide here, but they're going to come back on. Little contact there. They're going to go 3 wide here, coming up the track. And we got trouble behind them. Cameron is trying to catch up here, but I heard a bit of smoke, heard a few drivers going around. Let's see here. And yes, indeed, 2 Farrago teammates, Brian Arnold, Eric DeMax, and right behind them, Justin Wimmer, I believe, in the 32, also gone off, and we have more trouble.
Oh my goodness, this is I see a Toyota, a Chevy.
That's Ken Alka, the 7 car who's involved in that. Elijah Ironhouse also involved. That was Jesse John in the very back there, the 13. None of these drivers are figuring this out so far, I don't think. As Arnold, Richardson, they've all fallen back. There's Boston Shaw, the 31. Cody Lama still in the back, but a lot of action so far. But we look at it up front. DeMax has cleared DJ Curtis for the lead. Right behind him, Ashton Blevins has cleared David Mesky. Mesky is starting on pole, falling all the way back to 4th, and AJ Zhao back to 5th.
Yeah, it's no surprise that the Max is right. I did mention his road racing prowess, so no surprise seeing him up here. He needs a good race, and what better place to start than here in Hawaii? You know, this circuit is something that's in his wheelhouse, and it's showing real well. And look at here and see it right here with the 81 still hanging in there, just doing what he needs to do there with Iglesias.
Absolutely, and in fact, 3 Dodges are all within the top 10 here, alongside Vidal Iglesias. We got the 18 here of Noah Hart, who's right now exactly where he started in 8th place, as well as Hayes Green, who's gotten up to 10th. There's Cameron Lassard, the 54, Nick Green, 99, all having good days so far. Angel Gutierrez, he's one of those guys who started towards the back, as well as Nathan Stapleton in the 97. They both moved up a long ways here on this initial lap, taking advantage of all that carnage.
And some other drivers that I've seen that have taken a little bit of advantage here. You see Ray Varga here, Ludovic Charette, been having a rough go. Actually had first D&Q at Charlotte, looking to rebound from that. And back on Gutierrez here, looking for a solid run.
We got trouble. That was 38. White Junker just got turned by Paul Villalobos. He's done for the day, it looks like, because that thing is not moving.
Yeah, pardon the pun, but that thing is definitely junk.
And Paul Villalobos, he's one of the drivers who was having such a good run. He is definitely out of this one. There is smoke pouring out of that car. He must have gotten in the tire barrier at one point. After, I believe he was the one who tipped the 38. We'll have to look afterward, but that is not good for him and that team.
Yeah, the momentum he had, including his somewhat surprising superstar win a while back, that momentum has come to a grinding halt, unfortunately. You hate it for both Villalobos and Junkman, as we see Junkman's teammate here.
That is Carson Green at 28. He's also gotten to move up a few positions, along with Will Parrish in the 17. He's one of those guys who failed to qualify for Charlotte. He's back here today. Cody Lamas is here as well. Here's David Richardson in the 10, working on, I believe, that is Nate Champion in the 04, another driver who failed to qualify for Charlotte, but he's here today. Trying to see what he can do here after throws a bad luck lately.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. They had a decent run going at Charlotte, and then the engine just decided to let go, which you hate to see that happen to somebody when they're having a good run. But speaking of decent runs, Emma Boston Shaw here in the 31 took over. Oh, as we see the 66 around, Shaw took over that ride after Jacob Holz made a sudden exit. But he's been holding it down pretty well, as we see Curtis. Well, we said he needed a good run. What do you think here?
Well, he tried to make a move on Eric DeMax, but it wasn't quite there yet. He ran wide into the grass, and that's been a theme here for that first S curve of turn 3 and 4. That has been a trouble spot for these drivers all throughout practice. We've seen a number of them comment on that after some of the new changes that came after the last race. They've struggled there to keep up the momentum, which you have to do to get the optimal lap time here. But we see Brandon Smith here in the 92. I believe he's falling back a ways, but he's still in the hunt here. If he stays where he is, he might keep this points lead.
As a matter of fact, he's a position ahead of where he started. He's currently in 6th, which DJ Curtis started there, but now, of course, up to 2nd. Smith tried to go for Zhao there, it looked like, but it didn't quite work out for him. To see Terzic hanging out there, it looks like this was the front 10 and beyond have settled out just a little bit. Some of the racing action is really further back, but that's not to say that we won't see something up here, as we saw Curtis try to do to Max a little bit ago.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still watching Brandon Smith here, and up toward the front, you can see mostly the top end stayed the same, just shuffled a little bit. With Derek DeMax leading, DJ Curtis 2nd, Ashton Blevins holding on to 3rd, David Meske in 4th after starting on pole. Here's Fidel Iglesias holding on to 9th place currently, which is one less than where he started. I believe he lost that position to Noah Hart early on, and then Hayes Green also up in the top 10. Here comes Curtis on Eric DeMax again. He might be trying to make a move in the same place, but that would be pretty ill-advised after what happened last time.
Yeah, dude, he's trying for it. Not the right line to go for it, but I think he's trying to set up for the next time that the left would be the inside line. But you know, he might also just trying to be patient here. And we see all the skid marks from the earlier attrition of others.
Just looking back here, it looks like Brandon Smith is working over AJ now in that 98 car. Like I said, this was gonna. I believe throughout practice and qualifying, we were going to see a battle of Fingai Saitomi versus Venta Motorsports, and we are seeing it here with a Venta car leading, and a Fingai Saitomi car in 2nd, and a Fingai Saitomi car trying to work over a Venta car for the top 5.
Yeah, the only one that's playing spoiler to this is that Revolution Supra of Ashton Blevins, because he started 4th, moved up a spot, and has just stayed there. Of course, if Curtis and DeMax have something go wrong, he could end up in the catbird seat at least for the short term.
And he's currently ahead of David Meske, so 3 Fingai Saitomi cars in the top 6. Trying to make it top 5 is Brandon Smith on AJ Dow, but we've seen in the past that corner isn't usually a corner for turning, because you got to single out here for this final S curve, and indeed Brandon Smith falls back behind AJ Dow once again. We look back through some of the field here now. Here's the Dodge that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, they're right there nose to tail. Now they're not teammates, but you know they're still pretty strong cars. As you see 25 of Green, Hayes Green going to the inside of Iglesias here. Who you gotta give this young man props. First start, it's a road course. Starts on the top 10, and going into the completion lap 5 is currently trying to hold on to a 9th place position. This is a good and impressive run. I can see why the team picked him for this ride.
Yeah, indeed, he's really holding on to it. As we see now, a 3-way battle for the top 5 with AJ's out. Now having to hold off Brandon Smith, who's also having to hold off Gades Terzic in the 57, who's had a bit of a stroke of momentum after Charlotte. He's been doing really good out here on this fast road course. I believe he was top 5 in practice, and he qualified really well in the top 5. So he knows he has something to prove here, and he's doing it now. As he's now working over Brandon Smith, the points leader in the 92.
Yeah, he's also trying to play spoiler to this Venta FPM story. And he doesn't want Blevins to be the only one. He'd rather be the one up front leading this thing, but the momentum from Charlotte to here, if I could say without a doubt, after the way things have gone as we look further back in the field, Gades Terzic could very well have another good day here. I don't want to jinx him, so I'm going to be cautious what I say, but looking further back here, we see this little cluster cars, including the as aforementioned returning Justin Henley, not having too bad of a run.
And he
especially like many others, taking advantage of the attrition of others.
and he's actually taking advantage quite well, as he is now battling Mike White for, I believe, a spot in the top 15, top 20. He's having to back out of that one. That opened the door for Andrew Langley in the 21 to try to make a move on him. Mike White in the 12 also back there, as well as Tegan Fox, Ludovic Shred, I believe, and that 85 coach who started last, Jared Shank. He's starting to have a bit of a stroke of momentum here. He's getting past quite a few cars, and he might be out for more as he's in the back of this group.
Yeah, and you see Henley having to go a little wide. That opens the door for Langley, but still a solid first race back as he keeps the spot for now. Although I think Langley has got bigger problems to worry about now, as once again Henley tries to go on White for a position here.
A couple of cars off in the distance, we see who those are. It's Brandon Smith in the 92. Whoa. He's gone off, as well as Josh Turgic in the 57 has also found the barrier. What happened between those two, I wonder?
Nothing good. That much is certain, but I would say definitely could be some ill feelings between the two of them. We'll find out what happened later, but that is very unfortunate. And that's definitely not going to do Smith any favors in the current runnings of the championship battles. He tries to fight Turzic for what is now no longer a top 10 spot.
Yeah, they both, I believe, have fallen outside of top 10 and maybe even outside of top 15. That's going to benefit quite a few drivers, though. I believe that benefits these two in the back of the pack the most. Those being Chris Lattimore in the 3, Riley Cooper in the 69. They might both be in the top 10 now at this point.
Yeah, and Lattimore is looking to continue having some good runs. He dropped down to the Nitro Series and hasn't been doing too bad as we look at this ongoing battle that's now for 2 positions higher thanks to the Smith Turzic incident, as Henley continues to work over Mike White with Langley watching alongside or behind.
And Justin Henley having to fall back once again, tried to make a move on Mike White, but he's not able to make that work. Andrew Langley still there behind him, and Smith once again looking for a position on Turzic. Right in front of them, a few more cars that benefited from this. Cameron Lessard and Nathan Stapleton are now in the top 10. Cameron Lessard, who started further back in the field, he really did benefit from that Brandon Smith Yachty's Turzic contact, as we see the leaders once again nose to tail as they head through, I believe it's the turns 4 and 5 now.
And on Stapleton, as we watch this, as Blevins is now facing some pressure from the pole sitter of David Mesky. Stapleton has had some decent runs of late. Could have got a first career win a few races ago, but had some good momentum going and is looking to continue finding some good results here. Of course, again, attrition of others has helped with that, but you take them where you can get them in races like this.
And Stapleton's looking for more. He's working over Cameron Lessard in that 54 car, who is having a much better run than he did at Charlotte, as well as I believe the 72 of Angel Gutierrez, who's looking at a top 10 right now, but he's gonna have to get past these two for it, and it looks like he might have gotten into it a little bit with someone, or maybe that was just my head, as there might have been a little bit of damage to the back, but I really couldn't tell. Right behind them, though, Nick Breeding and Alexander Rowe are both up here also trying to see if they can get a top 10 out of this.
And you got Gutierrez there in front of them. And if we have more of our top 10 runners have issues, which I'm sure that they are going to be angry at me for saying that if they found out. But if there's more attrition in the top 10, they could. But then again, there's any number of ways they could end up here, as Smith is trying to claw his way back up here.
He's made it way past Turzic now, and is now going to try to get past some of these drivers further back to get back into the top 10. He's going to have to get past Nathan Stapleton for it, and I believe he has 4 or 5 more cars in front of him, including right in front of him, Chris Lattimore, Riley Hooper.
Yeah, those two aren't going to let him slide, because they want every position they can get. As we see, it looks like Henley is falling back a little bit way back there. I see he's still on the track, but as we look at now Langley and Mike White, can Langley do something about the 58 that the 33 could?
Maybe, but it looks like he's going to slide off here. He does. That's going to put him further back, right in front of, I believe, Jarrett Sink. Ooh, a little close there between the two of them. Ooh. But right there. But they're going to be side by side here. That could benefit some of the guys behind them as they come through here. This might be advantage for Langley, but Jarrett Shank has that low line there. We'll see if he can make use of it.
Looks like he will make some use of it. I gotta say, Langley's probably thankful that, well, Shank was there, or who knows how much worse it could have been for him, but saved it, was able to continue on. He's going to have to rebound a little bit now that he's been able to hold Shank. But you see right here, two Stormbreak drivers with the Tegan Fox right here, just chugging along, trying to find their way forward as they can.
That is Tegan Fox in the middle of a Stormbreak sandwich. Charette and Henley trying to make things difficult for him. We look further back here. It looks like the Farraco cars are starting to make up some ground, specifically Ryan Arnold in the 01. He's gotten past the 04 Nate Champion at this point, and is now working over. I'm not quite sure who that was in front of him, but we're looking at the 04 now. This is one of the drivers that failed to qualify for Charlotte. He's, well, I wouldn't say he's relatively inexperienced, but he is a rookie here in the sport, so he's at least going to get some experience here since he was able to get locked in after Vice Valley decided to close their doors. He's here today looking for experience, and right now he's got one of the best in front of him trying to work over Aiden Clare in double O.
Yeah, Claire's had some really good runs in this series, and I've been fortunate to have been in the booth for several of them. And right now, yeah, we know how good Ryan Arnold is. We've seen how good he is. We've seen what he can do. But right now, the momentum's just not been there. I think it's been a bit of a tough go. I know it's not good news to hear, but for you, but Farraco hasn't had the great.
Oh, we got an incident.
See more dust, smoking. Oh.
And that is day done for Tegan Fox in the 44. That thing is not moving. The other driver involved is Justin Henley in the 33. He's able to get that thing going, but heavy damage to the front of that Mercedes.
Yeah, I was just hoping that they could do enough repairs that he can at least limp around and maybe salvage a few points, because that 33 I know is locked in pretty good right now, but can't keep having incidents like that no matter who you are.
Eric and Max, we're actually almost, I believe we are just past the halfway point at this point. Eric DeMax still leads ahead of DJ Curtis in the 22, Ashton Blevins in third, David Mitsky, AJ Zhao in fifth, not much change there. I believe most of the change has actually been within the top 10, because if I'm looking at it here, Hayes Green has actually fallen back away. It's in a gift to basically Angel Gutierrez, a top 10 spot.
Yeah, and he'll take that, definitely. As we see it right here, because this road course experience is going to definitely be helpful, because I didn't mention it. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but he's going to when the truck series returns, he's going to be driving the 72 truck there, and this is definitely going to help him. Although yes, the layout is definitely different. It'll race different, especially with different vehicles, but it could definitely get him pumped up, especially if he gets a good result here in Hawaii.
We're looking here at Cameron Lessard and Nathan Stapleton, who also benefited from Hayes Green falling back. Stapleton is actually working over this 54 Cameron Lessard right here. He might be going for even more than what he has now, which would be impressive in and of itself, considering where he started. He's looking down, looking inside. I don't know if he's quite going to get it here, but he's definitely going to be close. This outside line is going to be an advantage for him, as it is for most of these drivers. This sweeping turn 6, I believe. And it looks like Stapleton's going to have the advantage. He might make that pass on Cameron Lessard.
Yeah, as you see some of the others ahead of him. Yeah, he will clear. Stapleton to 8th. And looking for more. He's got Iglesias ahead of him. And then you got Noah Hart ahead of him. If he can keep going, he might be able to march forward. I mean, he's got a little ways to go to get this out if he can get by Hart, but I think he could do it. He's got some time left, but time is starting to run out. It's a long course, but it's also a short-ish race.
And I just caught a glimpse of Brandon Smith back there. He is still well within the back. Has not been able to make up any momentum at all, which I'm sure is music in the ears of DJ Curtis in the 22. Those two FKM drivers are pretty much interlocked in the battle for the points lead currently. And after DJ Curtis's bad race at Charlotte, which resulted in Brandon Smith taking the lead after he won that race, I think the opposite's going to occur here because Brandon Smith has not been doing well on this sweeping road course here.
Here he goes.
We're looking at DJ Curtis trying to take the lead from Eric DeMax.
DeMax has been holding on to this lead, and DJ is trying to say enough's enough. I want it, but yeah, you know, DJ's had a great start to his rookie campaign here, and he'd love to have another win to add to it and make it even greater. But DeMax is just. I can't praise his road course prowess enough. We've seen what it's doing here, and he would certainly love to have a win this year. But DJ wants to make him really earn it.
Yeah, DJ Curtis said if you're a road course prowess, I'm going to put you to the test. And both of those guys have pulling away from the third place battle, which is between Ashton Blevins and Cameron Lethard. I apologize, Ashton, by the way. I forgot who you were at Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a Mesky there, just trying to get by. I'm sure Lethard would love to be up here battling for third, but this is a good little deal for Blevins. I mean Blevins has experience in the higher series, defending modified champion, but this is definitely a good showing, and I would definitely say Revolution Racing has to be proud that they chose him to drive for them as with this performance so far.
He is putting on a show for the fans here, holding off one of the best in David Mesky in the 29, who's also been doing really good. He's gotten, I believe, a third place at Charlotte. He's looking at a potential third place here at ButiBamba as we look further back here. Noah Hart is also one of those guys who's been doing really well so far, as well as most of the Dodges. In fact, if my math is correct, they've got at least 6 cars in the top 10, if not in the top 15.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I gotta say, props to Noah Hart here. Not much experience in the way of the Nitro cars, but he did drive for my team in the CrossFit years, so he's got some racing experience. But then took a break, came back, and it's looking like he's probably glad he came back because so is that team, because this is a good run he's got going on here.
They're actually closing in on AJ Zhao, who had cleared them quite a ways before, but he has fallen back into the clutches of this Dodge trio here of Noah Hart. Oh, Noah Hart goes wide there. He's going to be side by side with the Glacias here, who's looking for a position away from him. Nathan Stapleton also back there trying to take advantage, but it looks like Noah Hart's going to hold on to that position at least for now.
Yeah, not for much longer, because you got Stapleton right there with I believe those two are those two right there, the 97 and 81 are teammates going after the other Dodge, who's the odd man out of the three when it comes to which team they're part of.
Then a little scuffle straightened itself out, and no change there for any of those positions. But Cameron Lessard and Angel Gutierrez have also closed into this, as well as 2 other Dodges. We also got Alexander Rowe and Riley Cooper back here. And here's some of the other guys, Yanis Turzic and Brandon Smith. They still haven't been able to make up too much momentum. In fact, Brandon Smith may have gone off a few times before because he has fallen behind Mike White in the 58. And he's also right just in front of Ludovic Charette in the 11. And
honestly, with as bad of a season as Charette has had so far, if he falls behind if he falls behind Lamas, that's not too different because Lamas has been strong. But if he starts falling behind the likes of the 11 and others who have been stuck toward the back on most races, then you know he's having a bad day. Right now, he's sticking around behind Mike White, which, that's not too bad.
That is inside the top 20 here. In fact, he's running, I believe, 19th right now, just in front of Mike White. Actually, just updated. He's 17th now in front of Mike White. As I don't see Jared Shank anywhere. I wonder if he got into an incident with somebody. In fact, Andrew Langley's not there either. So we're gonna have to see what might have happened back there. There's a little bit of a dust up, I think. coming out here. As we got a smoker, and that's Eric DeMax in the 16.
Oh no!
What on earth happened there? We'll get you an instant replay here, since this is, I believe, a blow up. But that is not good for that team. That gifted DJ Curtis the lead, and he's in the middle of the road, which is going to be a problem with some of these guys. AJ's out, trying to figure out what to do in that 98 car. Noah Hart. Oh gosh, that was close between the 16 and the 18 there. And oh gosh.
He's trying to get out of the way, but it's not easy.
Hayes Green gets by, Nick Breeding, and now Eric DeMax has gotten to the outside there. Riley Hooper gets by, Alexander Rowe gets by. And now the road is a bit more
nice little
clear
gap to not worry about.
But my goodness, what on earth happened to that car? He was holding strong all this race, and in the closing stages of this one, he has blown up. And now we have an update in the order. DJ Curtis is now in the lead with Ashton Blevins in second.
Yeah, this is gonna get real interesting because now Blevins has motivation, and we just saw a quick glimpse at.
Yeah, that's Andrew Langley, the 21, and also I believe Mike White called it quits in the 58 car. He might have had an incident earlier in the race, but now DJ Curtis can hit the loud pedal because he has got clear road ahead of him, and he has pulled away quite a bit of ways from Ashton Blevins and David Metzke, who are having their own fight for second.
And you see things are updated now. Hayes Green finds himself back in the top 10 at the expense of Eric DeMax, which, you know, again, like I said, take it how you can get it.
How about that? It came full circle for the 25. He lost the top 10 after going off, and now he gets the top 10 back after the leader blows up. So, yeah, Dodge is having a really good day so far. Nick Breeding is also up here, and now Riley Hooper and Alexander Rowe have both joined this battle, as now AJ Zhao feeling the pressure from Noah Hart and those other two Dodgers behind them. So he's got some work to do, and I'm sure he has to be worried now after seeing his teammate blow up and nearly wreck everybody.
Yeah, you got to feel for him because he's been told 16 blew up, and just find what you can, defend how you can, don't overdo it, don't end up in the garage like your teammate. So, and he's doing a masterful job holding off these three Dodges, and all three of them are pretty strong.
We're at 4 to go right now, coming on to three to go, and like I said before, Dodge is having a pretty solid day here by my count, because as of now, they have 4 cars in the top 10. Could be 5 if something happens to Angel Gutierrez or Cameron Lessard.
Yeah, and it's an even split on those 4 Dodges. You got two spot cars and then 2 fit spotter cars. So pretty good representation for both teams here in the back half of the top 10.
Yeah, we did mention Fidel Iglesias was running for Fitzwater Australia Racing, so he's got his teammate right behind him right now, Nathan Stapleton, who's having a career run right now after starting in the back. I'm sure Stapleton would love to get that position back from Iglesias, but we'll see if they get in a scuffle here. We'll see if Team Warriors ever come into play, as we now have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 laps, and that's a long time for something else to happen. But you see right now, way up ahead, Blevins is stuck trying to deal with Curtis's teammate while the 22 just tries to ride into the sunset.
And right now, this is where the battle is Fidel Iglesias trying to work over Noah Hart, his Dodge manufacturer teammate, with Nathan Stapleton also trying to take advantage of that. We might be seeing deja vu here between three Dodge affiliate cars, with Cameron Lessard waiting in the wings here. Iglesias gets alongside Noah Hart here. Stapleton trying to help out at least one of those drivers. He might be trying to help his Dodge teammate rather than his actual teammate.
Yeah, he's just going where he can right now to get positions. He knows Iglesias is wanting to make a good first impression, and he already has. He just got to finish it off. But Stapleton's got something to prove here with running for a full-time campaign.
He cleared Iglesias for 6th place. Angel Gutierrez looking under Cameron Lessard. That's for 8th. Things have really changed under head after Eric DeMax blew up, but right now it's all up front. DJ Curtis, Ashton Blevins, David Metzke right now. And And Stapleton, like I said, having a career day right now. He's now in between his two Dodge teammates. I'm sure that's someplace he'd like to settle in, or maybe he might be going for more, potentially a top 5, if he can get past this 18 and Noah Hart.
Yeah, that would be another great day for him. He's just got to get there. That's the big challenge here. As we're now 2 to go, and again, that lead for Curtis has just stretched out. All Blevins has to do now, if he wants that second place, is hold off Meske, because I think he's starting to recognize that pending a miracle in his favor, he's not going to get to Curtis. And as we see all these drivers all lined up here, just seems like they're settled out for now, but we'll see when it comes to the final lap.
Who knows? This could be how they finish, because they might not be side by side here, or maybe they will be in the closing laps here, depending on what happens. We've seen before with all the dust ups that plenty of drivers have gone off there. So I wonder if they're taking that into account, especially since their tires are pretty worn out and they've got pretty low fuel load at this point. So we'll see what happens here if anything changes in this top order. But right now, Noah Hart in the top 5. I believe early in the week it was Lade Sanders who wondered why that 18 has been the top dog so far, but he was for a bit at least at Charlotte, and he's showing that he's got what it takes by running top 5 here at ButiBamba.
Absolutely, and you know Lane's got to be happy that he was able to get Noah to come back for this, because results like this are what each team owner strives for with their drivers, and it's doing wonders here right now. Although I would say the same for quite a few drivers, especially the Fidel Iglesias there. We've praised him a lot, but debut, you start top 10, it looks like you're going to finish top 10. I would definitely say the impression has been made as we're coming to the white flag for Curtis.
Here comes Curtis, down the start finish straight. He'll see the white flag here. One more lap to go, just about 3 miles around this long and twisting circuit, and he's cleared out Ashton Blevins and David Metzke. He's got this in the bag as long as lap traffic isn't of any of his concerns, as he's got Justin Henley in front of him, as well as I believe Justin Whitmer in the 32, another one of those drivers who was just in front. So both of those guys not having really good days, and they could factor into this finish if DJ Curtis catches them in the wrong spot.
It seems like the 33 is definitely. We know the 33 Mercedes is wounded, but is it wounded enough to hinder Curtis? That's the question here as we come down to half a lap left.
Here's our battle for second. This is probably going to come down to the line, because Ashton Blevins is not going to want to give this up easy to David Metzke, as we now look back at our 4th place battle, which is now, I believe, 4th through 12th, all no tail here. As out, I don't know if Alexander wrote back there or not, but Riley Hooper certainly is, and all these guys are going to come away with good finishes here as long as they don't mess up here at the end.
I think they're all just settled in line. They've realized that maybe they don't have what it takes to pass each other. Just settle in line, take the position you got, and if something happens to give you a bit of an improvement coming to the checkered, then great. But this is definitely going to be a good day for quite a few people. Zhao, Hart, Stapleton, Iglesias. This whole top 10 is really good, especially for our soon-to-be winner after what happened at Charlotte.
And he's only got a few more corners to negotiate and one lap car to deal with, which is Justin Henley. Here he comes through the final turns. He's going to get past Justin Henley, and after a disappointment at Charlotte, it's going to be DJ Curtis who sees the checker flag first. He'll come to the line and win in Hawaii.
Yeah, that 33 did not hinder him as much as Blevins and Metzke would have liked, but I don't think DJ is going to be mad at Henley for that, because it didn't cost him, and big congratulations to him. He deserved this after what happened, although I think the same could be said for DeMax, who finished this race in the garage.
The FPM domination continues, and DJ Curtis gets his 2nd win of the season here, or I believe it's the 3rd win of the season here at ButiBamba. Ashton Blevins does hold on to 2nd ahead of David Metzke in the 29 and 3rd. AJ Zhao holds on to 4th, and Noah Hart, best career finish, a 5th that driver. Nathan Stapleton, coming from the back, finishes off 6th. Fidel Iglesias rounds out his day in 7th. Cameron Lessard finishes 8th. Angel Gutierrez in 9th. And Hayes Green rounds out in top 10, just in front of Nick Breeding in the 99 and Riley Hooper in the 66. Well, James, we got quite a lot to look back on here, so why don't we go back to our replays now and see just what happened throughout this race, especially on that initial melee. Here's that initial melee at the start of lap 1. James, talk us through it.
You see the 32 Whitmer here as there's some checking up ahead of him, and then Hooper and Villalobos get sandwiched in there. Then you see the 10 of Richardson, the 01 of Arnold. Just a big stack up there, and then this happens. This is just even worse.
Yeah, quite a few drivers out of this one today. We'll get you a better look at some of the other incidents that happened. Here's another look at that stack up in turn 5. You see Elijah Ironhouse and Nagatsuki Kanaka. They just all get clumped up together and all get turned here, as well as Boston John, the 31, who it looked like had to check up for that, and he got turned.
So he got lucky there. Not so much so for the rest of these drivers, as they got a little bit more damage than the 31 did. But it's just one of those things where you wish you could avoid it. But
here's another look at what happened between Villalobos and Junkman. It looks like Villalobos is just underneath him, and he just turns him.
Yeah, and that's again unfortunate for both of them because as off camera here, but we saw it on during the live race.
That tells us how Villalobos got right out of this one. After he turns the 38, he gets off into the grass and just can't slow the car down, and that's how that happens. Here's one I know you've been waiting for. Brandon Smith versus Yanis Terzic. Let's see what happened here as Brandon Smith was side by side with AJ's out. He runs a little wide here. He's probably going to come back on the track and straight into the 57, turning them both around.
Yeah, it's a miracle that didn't take him out of the race, but they were able to soldier on and salvage something out of it at least. But no, that was a big blow to both of them. They're having such good days.
Here's what happened between Tegan Fox and Justin Henley. We see that the 44 side by side with the 11 of Ludovic Charette goes wide again, as another driver going wide in front of him. I believe that was the 85. As both of those drivers, I don't think were paying attention, and that's how the 44's day ended.
And I'm sure Fox's day was over right then and there, but we saw Henley was able to finish, just barely got last right at the line, but tough break for both of them regardless.
Here's an incident between a couple of Duke drivers and Nagatsuki Kanaka. Braden Vargas just pushes the 7 out wide. Here's what happened to Andrew Langley in the 21. He's battling with Mike White in the 58 with Jared Shank, the 85, right behind him. And also Brandon Smith right behind them. Same story, I think. He goes out wide. He's going to come up the track right into Jared Shank. And they both go into the tire barrier.
And fortunate for both of them there, as it's been Calamity Corner there, that spot, unfortunately.
Another incident between Ludovic Charette and Cody Lamas, I believe. Once again, same story as Brandon Smith goes wide after battling with Mike White, and Cody Lamas just sends it in and does not pay attention to what he's doing. And same with Mike Edwards as well in the 12.
And a couple of them just lose it there. That when it rains, it pours for Lamas, unfortunately.
One last incident here. We're looking at Yadish Terzic, Brandon Smith, and Mike White all battling here for position, as Brandon Smith, I think, gets underneath Mike White, and that was a big hit.
Yeah, I felt that from here. That one hurt, as a little bit of trouble for the 28 here, but manages to save it from hitting the tires. But it really stinks for White.
But that is all we have for you today from the ButiBamba circuit in Hawaii. Congratulations, DJ Curtis, on yet another win for that 22 team. Ashton Blevins and David Metzke round out the podium. James, it sure was a calamity race, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd imagine there's going to be some people who feel like that they didn't get a chance to show what they had, but it's just unfortunate for some of them. But at the same time, it did give others a benefit. But there's there's plenty of stories to talk about, but you definitely got to say a big feel good story would be Fidel Iglesias. Started eighth, finished one spot better. Big impression there, and I'd imagine we'll see more of him in the future. And again, congrats to Curtis.
If you're wondering, by the way, Yadic Turgis, Brandon Smith finished 14th and 15th, right nose to tail, and so Turgis actually got ahead of Brandon Smith, but only after some attrition from the 92. Also some notables that were out of this race include Paul Villalobos in the 66 and Eric DeMax in the 16. I believe we got to replay what happened there. It's just unfortunate for Eric DeMax in the 16, who was really hoping for a good run.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he can rebound. He's got plenty of time. So, and he's the defending champion, so we know he can get it done. So, I look forward to seeing what he can do to get back.
But until next time, that's gonna do it from us, from James Ellison, and from myself as well. We'll see you next time in the One Up Nitro National Series. Right now, DJ Curtis is the man of the hour. Who's it gonna be in the next race? We'll see you then.